In 2025, President Trump reignited his signature protectionist trade policies, sending shockwaves through the global economy by imposing a 25% tariff on Canadian steel imports. This bold move was framed as a necessary step to defend American industry and restore the nation's manufacturing might, a promise that had resonated with many voters in the heartland. The administration soon doubled down, raising the tariff to a staggering 50%, escalating tensions with America's closest trading partner, and sending a clear message that the era of free trade was over. The stated goal was to revive the struggling U.S. steel industry, protect American jobs, and make foreign steel prohibitively expensive. Supporters argued this would breathe new life into towns hollowed out by decades of outsourcing and plant closures. However, the tariffs quickly disrupted the intricate North American manufacturing network. Automakers, appliance manufacturers, and construction firms, many of which relied on a seamless flow of materials across the US-Canada border, were caught off guard by the sudden spike in costs and delays. The administration's gamble was that trading partners would yield first in this economic standoff, believing that America's market power would force concessions and new deals on US terms. But the tariffs were just one piece of a much broader strategy. Other nations, including India and Switzerland, found themselves targeted by new trade barriers, while tensions with China, already strained, intensified further, threatening to spill over into other sectors. The global trade order, built over decades of cooperation and negotiation, was suddenly shaken. Markets reeled as the U.S. pursued economic dominance through a series of disruptive, often unilateral confrontations. The administration believed these aggressive tactics would force a realignment of global supply chains, bringing manufacturing and jobs back to American soil, and reducing reliance on foreign competitors. Yet, the policy overlooked the complexities of modern trade. Industries dependent on just-in-time delivery and integrated supply chains faced immediate shortages, production slowdowns, and rising costs, causing significant pain to businesses and workers alike. The world watched as the U.S. played a high-stakes game, betting that its trading partners would blink first and accept new terms. But uncertainty rippled through boardrooms and governments worldwide. The tariffs were not isolated measures, but a key piece in a larger effort to assert American economic power and reshape the rules of global commerce in Washington's favor. Yet the administration underestimated the shock to industries reliant on integrated global relationships, as supply chains buckled and uncertainty spread. In the end, the policy's architects miscalculated the realities of a deeply interconnected world economy, leading to immediate and widespread disruption, and leaving many to question whether the costs outweighed the intended benefits. Detroit, the heart of the U.S. auto industry, has always been a symbol of American manufacturing strength and resilience. For generations, its factories have powered the nation's economy, providing stable jobs and fueling innovation. But when tariffs were imposed, the city faced an immediate and daunting crisis as production costs soared almost overnight. Giants like GM and Ford, already operating on thin margins, saw steel prices skyrocket, threatening not just their profitability, but their ability to compete globally. The tariffs, intended to protect American industry, ironically hit Detroit the hardest, with billions in new costs projected for the city's automakers. Automakers tried to absorb these costs, hoping to shield consumers from price hikes and avoid a sharp drop in sales. But this was only a temporary fix. This unsustainable strategy strained resources, leaving less money for research, innovation, and even worker wages. The pressure was felt at every level of the industry. The ripple effect was immediate. Suppliers, parts manufacturers, and local businesses that depended on a thriving auto sector saw orders slow and uncertainty rise. The tariffs created a climate of uncertainty, destabilizing the industrial heartland and making it difficult for companies to plan for the future. Detroit's entire ecosystem, from bustling assembly lines to family-owned shops, felt the mounting pressure as the economic shockwaves spread. The very policy designed to protect American jobs was now a looming threat, leaving the region anxious and uncertain about what the future might hold. The auto industry faced a precarious future, caught between the impossible choice of absorbing higher costs or risking a loss of customers by raising prices. In effect, the tariffs acted as a tax on production, with Detroit bearing the brunt of the impact, and little relief in sight. The crisis exposed just how vulnerable a sector built on global supply chains could be, forcing Detroit to confront new realities in a rapidly changing world. Canada swiftly retaliated against U.S. tariffs, refusing to be bullied. Prime Minister Carney announced targeted measures to protect Canada's steel industry. Canada reduced steel import quotas and imposed tariffs on excess imports. Ottawa mandated Canadian-made steel for federal projects, blocking U.S. producers. This move protected Canadian steel, countering U.S. protectionism. Carney signaled a shift in U.S.-Canada trade relations, moving towards independence. The integrated North American market was fracturing, with both sides entrenched. Canada's measures were not temporary, indicating a hardened stance. The trade relationship was reassessed, with a defensive posture taking hold. The sudden imposition of tariffs sent shockwaves through North America's auto supply chains, which had long relied on seamless, just-in-time cross-border logistics. For decades, manufacturers and suppliers on both sides of the border worked in harmony, moving parts and vehicles back and forth with minimal friction. The 50% steel tax shattered this carefully balanced system, causing chaos and delays at border crossings. Trucks that once breezed through customs now faced hours of waiting, and drivers grew increasingly frustrated as bottlenecks became the new normal. Companies faced mounting customs bottlenecks and soaring costs, forcing them to rethink their entire operations. Managers scrambled to find solutions, but the uncertainty made planning nearly impossible. Domestic steel producers simply couldn't meet the sudden surge in demand, driving prices up regardless of where the steel came from. Shortages became common, and the cost of raw materials skyrocketed. Automakers scrambled to find alternatives, searching for new suppliers both at home and abroad. But building new supply lines is a slow process, and the transition was anything but smooth. The looming threat of even more tariffs added another layer of uncertainty, stalling long-term planning and making executives wary of committing to new projects. The industry now faced unprecedented strategic challenges, with risk and instability threatening its very health. Production lines slowed or stopped, and workers worried about their jobs. The ripple effect of the tariffs was both financial and strategic, poisoning the business environment and shaking investor confidence across the sector. Automakers hesitated on new investments, unsure of what future trade rules would bring, and the uncertainty cast a long shadow over the industry's future. The tariffs sparked a legal battle over presidential power. Critics argued the president overstepped by using the IEEPA to impose tariffs. The Supreme Court fast-tracked the case, questioning executive authority. Businesses claimed the president was bypassing Congress, creating tax law unilaterally. The administration defended its broad authority in national security matters. The case was about defining presidential limits in a complex world. The U.S.-Canada steel dispute was part of a global trade realignment. The America First doctrine disrupted established norms and alliances. Tariffs on Swiss and Indian goods exemplified the confrontational U.S. strategy. The administration favored bilateral deals over multilateral agreements. Ongoing negotiations with China highlighted this approach. The end of the de minimis rule impacted e-commerce, closing tariff loopholes. The global economy faced uncertainty, with strained alliances and eroding predictability. Companies worldwide adjusted to new trade realities, rethinking strategies. The global chessboard was in disarray, with every player re-evaluating their moves. Detroit's future is uncertain, exposed by the tariff crisis. Automakers face unsustainable costs, threatening profit margins. The Supreme Court's decision on tariffs will shape the industry's path. A ruling against the administration could reset trade dynamics. A favorable ruling would entrench high-cost materials as the norm. Canada's hardened stance suggests a permanent shift in trade relations. Detroit must adapt to a new reality, with the border as an economic barrier. The policies meant to protect now threaten global competitiveness. Automakers must innovate amid state-imposed costs and uncertainties. Detroit's fate hangs in the balance, dependent on trade war outcomes.